the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold wave filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. Come on, grab a pack. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavor. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Home of the Tony Basilio Show.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Fire this thing up, focus this thing, and prepare this thing because it is a signing day, X-tacular edition of your Tony Basilio Show on this Wednesday. Brian Hartman, are you ready to get the taste of last night out of your mouth? My good friend, are you ready to get the taste of last night out of your mouth?
Yeah, I've swallowed 7 bottles of soap this morning to do so.
Cinco, are you ready to get the taste of Saturday night out of your mouth with a signing day X-tacular today as we break it down scientifically, moving right to left and left to right across your device? Are you fired up for today, Cinco? What is your level of pumpness? Sean Sinclair.
I'm at a medium pump right now, I guess. With a signing day, I don't have anywhere close to the taste from Saturday out of my mouth, though.
I know, right? Me and Exie were talking about it. He's like, yeah, it's like a real hangover. I said, yeah, it's no question, it's a hangover. There is very little doubt that the hangover effect is in full effect, but be interesting to see how the day transpires, how it all goes. We have a lot to talk about nonetheless. Exie joins us. Brian, your thoughts last night on the game? It looks like Tennessee's got a defense problem on their basketball team, among other things, but these guys are very much a work in progress. And Syracuse, we knew. We had that guest on yesterday with a Knoxville background, and he said, hey, these Syracuse in desperation mode. Full desperation mode. We knew that was coming, didn't we, Bri?
Well, it was a very ugly basketball game, and I think the problem was offensively you held them. You only needed to score 64 points to win the game, and you couldn't do it. So I don't know if defense was really the issue there, but it was just an ugly game and one that I just feel it's not season ending. It's not indicting of what's going to happen going forward, but it's very disappointing to go and lose a game like that when they had their best player out.
When you play in somebody else's building,
you should have won the game. No question.
Sure. When you play in somebody else's building and you get these bumps and bruises that you get this time of the year, And you get 0 fast break points, and, you kind of got a little punked last night.
And it's hard to win on the road in college basketball.
Sure,
I think
it is.
One of the biggest playing at home, one of the biggest advantages is in that sport. It really is over all the others. And especially on a cold night on the road, you're in a strange place. They could have a couple more of those in them this year.
Sure they could.
It wouldn't surprise me. But they can make up for it if they can go get Illinois. We just need to get a win over somebody. Illinois would be a good place to start. If they can get Louisville, you'll forget about last night.
Vitello walks off our campus and we've lost our Jomo. We lost the son of Jim Thome. We're losing football games. We're losing basketball games at like a record clip here. I mean, Vitello walks out of here, and we're losing our Jomo around here. Our Jomo Sono. There, Jim Burns, and you Atlanta Chief fans everywhere. It's our signing day, X-tacular. What we're? Oh, thank you. What we're going to do is, I love when, what do you call that stuff? AI starts talking back to you. Shut the hell up, AI, and go away while we're on the subject here. Go away. We're going to do a signing day show with a twist today. And the twist is we're going to look at our roster and we're going to say who on the roster can play. I'll give you, here's a little trivia question for you, okay? Because the Keys kid's incoming, right? And he's obviously a great prospect. Who is the last impact freshman at wide receiver that Josh Heupel had that played as a true freshman and was an impact player? That's your trivia question. We're going to do a signing day with a twist. And you'll have to keep it right here and find out what we're talking about. As we continue with more on the other side, fired up, focused, and prepared. The question is this: who on Tennessee's current roster can do it? Who on the current roster is really going to help? That's the question. And then, how wise is it to sign 26 guys or 25 or 27, whatever the number ends up being? And then how much of your budget are you spending on this? We make it all happen. Ahead with you on the other side right after this. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it: a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations: Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Brr, it's getting cold outside. Is your heating system ready for winter? Don't wait to find out. Pipe Wrench's $79 heating system tune-up ensures your HVAC is ready for those cold nights so your home stays warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your HVAC system for maximum efficiency and comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. Call or schedule your $79 heating system tune-up online today at pipewrench.com. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit pipewrench.com for details.
Basilio here with Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Alan, is it true? Are we really having a Black Friday sale? Lay it on me.
Yeah, Tony, Black Friday is the biggest time of the year for us. We're going to do a 40% off sale. That's what we're doing to everybody else. But for the Tony Basilio listeners, we're going to do 45% off. So you get an additional 5% off, which should be hundreds of dollars. All you got to do is use the promo code Tony. But for the real listeners, we're going to do another promo code. The second promo code is going to be promo code NEGADAVE. So with the promo code NEGADAVE, you actually pay 5% more. So 35% off using promo code NEGADAVE, 45% off using promo code Tony.
We're kind of having some fun here, but when you're talking about 120 super core floors, I've shown them over on the website, the video. You can't destroy this floor.
Very tough floor that I designed. When I say literally millions of square feet, we've got 2 warehouses in Johnson City full of flooring. We're ready to go for any size project. But yeah, it's a remarkable product. It's the best waterproof flooring on the market because we sold everyone else's floors and I designed the floor that's better than everyone else.
WeShipFloors.com. Free shipping to all, anywhere in the country.
Go Vols, Tony.
And We Ship Floors has held over their sale for another week. Due to popular demand, you are responding to it. Again, you can get up to 45% off when you use the promo code Tony. And reach out to We Ship Floors and Alan there at WeShipFloors.com, who is a mainstay on the program as well. Very funny guy, great supporter of what we do. We're going to go back to our phone lines at some point today, or go to our phone lines. I'll let you know when we're taking calls. We're not right now. We've got our recruiting guru, X, in the house. Cinco follows it closely as well. Sean, or Brian Hartman, and yours truly gonna hold on tight to our dreams. Let me start with you, X, as I welcome you in. First thing I want to do is, just like Everett last night, who watered Alex Myers' soul last night, final caller on Garza Law, 5th quarter fan reaction. I want to water X's soul and just say to you, X, that I'm very thankful for the contributions that you make to us throughout the year. You're extremely dutiful. You do an excellent job of covering recruiting day in and day out for us. And thank you so much, man, for your contributions.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. And thank you for the kind words. I enjoy it. It's, certainly changed a lot over the last few years, especially with the transfer portal now, and the NIL makes today not what it used to be, but I still enjoy covering the high school aspects of this, and it's something that's in my blood, and I guess I always will, even though some of this this deep diving I'm beginning to do in a portal is somewhat fascinating. So glad to be here.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting the way the deal's changed. Let's talk about what's occurred so far today, and then I want to get into the nitty-gritty and the nuts and bolts of what we're talking about here. First things first, thus far today, guys, what has transpired so far? Because as of an hour ago, 19 have signed. Tennessee's waiting on 8. Of the 8, 5 are committed, and 3 are making decisions today. X and Sean, where are we on that note?
Well, I think there's the only surprise so far, and it's not a surprise. The Celeste Moa kid out of Utah, nice athlete, receiver, safety. There's some talk that he may stay home to Utah, that Utah is trying to make him a priority, possibly with an NIL and family pressure that he can't resist. But other than that, it looks like it's pretty much gone straight to plan.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of drama, coming down to the signing day. There's been a bit of that, but so far everything's kind of gone to chalk. Tennessee's got 2 or 3 kids out there that they can finish with, I guess, that have been committed other places. But, it gets back. I don't want to get off course here, but if things hold the way they are, Tennessee's going to end up with, 25, 26 kids signed at the end of the day.
And the real question becomes now, and I apologize for my throat here. It's wintertime. The real question becomes,
how much of your budget have you spent on this class? And then how much contribution right away are you going to get from this year's class? I mean, that's the way we're going to watch the sport now. Because the matriculation, the portal, the movement, the nomadic nature of the sport now, transient nature of the sport, means that a lot of the names that you'll hear and read about, and the bios you'll read and hear about, you'll never see on the football field, here, there, or anywhere. It's just the nature of the deal now. And if you don't believe me, pull out from 2 years ago just pull it out. Pull out a top 100 list from 2 years ago and read the names, and you'll go, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Where's that guy? Where's this one? A lot of them, go back to Nico's class, a lot of those guys are on their third and fourth team now. And Nico's going to play with 3 college football teams before it's over. And so, and he was at the top of the pecking order. And so all politics are local. So what about, Sean, when you look at, let's start with this year's signing class, okay? This signing class is ranked in the top 10. It's thought to be up there with the caller Richard shared with us last week that in his, a couple weeks ago, that his belief is it's up there with the Georgias, the Alabamas of the world. It's top of the mark in the Southeastern Conference. Sean, I start with you, then I go to X. And again, Brian and I defer to you guys. When you look at this class, Sean, what comes to mind?
You're talking about the class that's signing today?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I haven't studied Georgia or Alabama's class, but if their class is like it has been in the past 10 years, I would say this class is nothing like that. There's a couple of high-end guys, Brandon, and then Keys. There's some guys that have potential, I would say, Joel Wyatt, TJ White. They got to find a position for him. Couple of guys, the receiver over at Catholic's nice. And then a couple of others. There's a whole lot of guys here that I think are developmental guys that are 3 to 4 stars, that have to put on weight, that have to get a lot stronger. I just don't see, in fact, I don't see perhaps the Keys kid, but he looks like a Travis Smith kind of deal from last year. I don't see anyone in this class that comes right in and affects the team next year.
X, when you look at the class in terms of immediate impact guys, what do you think?
I pretty much echo what Sean says. I hate to be like that, but there's a whole lot of projects in this class. They're, good athletes and so on, but immediate difference makers. I think the immediacy is going to be driven by, position depth. For instance, linebacker, safety, they may have no choice depending on what they do in the portal to play some of these kids. But do I see kids that are going to walk in and compete for starting time right off the bat? Of the guys that have signed so far, no, I do not.
I'm going to go to the roster, and I'd like both of you guys to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and say, the signees of last year, who can we expect to see on the field next year making a contribution? It's obvious that Redmond played well and played a lot earlier than we thought he was going to. Perlotti looks like a guy that's going to be a really nice player here in time. So, it's an extremely interesting thing to consider where we are and where this thing is going. And the immediate future, look, I was exchanging texts with a guy that's in the middle of the Vanderbilt thing, and I try to fan out across the league. Like Auburn today did a very curious thing that a lot of people weren't expecting them to do. Golish showed some smarts today. the thing about Auburn is the expectation, and one of the reasons why they got sideways with the Summerall guy who ended up at Florida is allegedly, this was the belief though, that Summerall, they wanted to foist Durkin on him. Now, I will tell you that the AD at Auburn is a real lunatic. Okay, he's a bizarre guy. No offense to him, I didn't do it. And so, essentially, what happened here today is that Durkin is going to stay at Auburn, as is their defensive line coach. There was a belief that Rodney Garner was going to matriculate back to Auburn, where family is, where he played, finish up his deal there, and have a happy life. Doesn't look like that's going to happen now, unless he goes there in a different capacity, because their D-line coach is staying. So it looks like their defensive staff is staying. It's an interesting move by Alec Golish, and we'll see how that pans out for him. The other thing that's happened today from a recruiting perspective that could impact things down the line, Brian Hartline, who's been a Sean NX, an extremely dynamic recruiter, right, at Ohio State, just got hired today by Central Florida as their head coach, or South Florida, rather, I'm sorry, as their head coach. That's a pretty interesting development, guys. From Brian Hartline, who was thought to be Penn State's new coach about 3 weeks ago. There were some strong rumors out there that he was Penn State bound, but he ends up at South Florida. What do you all think of that development before we talk about our and these developments as a whole before we talk about our own house here?
Well, I think when you talk about Hartline, it's interesting because there have been a whole slew of guys like him over the past 30 years, whether it be Tim Brewster at North Carolina back in the day with Mac Brown, whether it be Bill Conley up at Ohio State, whether it be Trooper Taylor here, Rodney Garner, these guys, Tosh Lapoy, who just, I guess, got the Cal job. He's very much in line of a superstar celebrity, one position recruiter who never makes his way up into a coordinator position, never makes his way up into a play caller position, but has always had the ability to recruit at such a high level that people are willing to take a chance on him. That's what looks like South Florida does. I think it's a very risky move. It paid off for Syracuse when they brought the guy in who's pretty much the same thing at Georgia, and he's done well there, but the guy's got a bigger name and a very, very small resume of work. And it's related to recruiting and developing, let's all be real about this, 5-star receivers at Ohio State.
That's exactly right. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, Sean, I could look good if I'm recruiting that guy. The Cornell Tates of the world, who Tennessee got involved with. Tennessee made him Cornell Tate tried to really, really super shop Tennessee and wanted outlandish money. And they were like, well, that's way above market. Why should we pay you that? And he was like, well, that's what your guys are paying. And they were like, no, Cornell, that's not how this works. But when you're recruiting those types of guys, and if you look around the NBA, or the NHL rather, I'm going to get it right here, X. If you look at the league, if you look at the NFL and what they've been able to do, and the guys that are running around in the NFL, Hartline has been making his meals with filet mignon for a long, long time.
Well, another guy you might be familiar with, Tony, would fit in the same category is Larry Johnson, long time.
Yep.
Defensive line coach at Penn State, whose son became a very good, NFL running back, I believe with my Chiefs for a while. But the same type of deal where a celebrity recruiter who gets great players and then builds a reputation on that, but no one ever takes a chance on him to become a coordinator. And so who knows?
That's exactly right.
Yep. What happens if he's a success at South Florida? You know that he's going to be a hot commodity return back to the Big Ten or SEC Or I don't know. I agree with Sean.
The problem I have with guys like him, he can't affect a game. He's never. What is he going to recruit at halftime? No. What is he going to develop a receiver at half? No. You can't. There's nothing you can. Alex Golish has. I question whether he was a lead play caller here. I don't believe he was. I think that's why when he was asked in his press conference about his play calling here, he talked about a collaborative effort. I think Josh has always called the plays.
Yep.
But at least he has been. He's put together practices. He's put together game plans. A lot of the guys, Durkin, if you make, he's been a head coach at Maryland. Yeah, I'm surprised, except for whether it's his fault or not, his career has always had a little bit of mystery to it. Like, what's going on with this guy? But at least Durkin, has been there, done that. Some of these other guys have been there, done that. Brian Hartline has just not been there or done that.
So moving along, I was exchanging texts with somebody from the Vanderbilt camp, because I think what they've done is kind of interesting, and it's going to lead me to this, because we're going to talk about the roster. Before we talk about, because used to, in recruiting, what we would do is we would go through each individual guy in a thumbnail and get really excited about it. And this is 6, 7, 8 years ago, before the portal. We have to acknowledge now that we're in a new day and there's a new way. And it doesn't mean that the old way can't work, but you look at what Vanderbilt's done, and I was told me that, I was looking at what they did with the Jared Curtis kid and flipping him, and he says that there were a couple other guys they're expecting to flip today. I don't know if that's happened or not, but que sera. He said for the most part, internally, the strategy is going to be build your team with fifth-year players from the portal, redshirt about 14 to 15 guys a year, and grow a few, but really focus your money in the aftermarket. And that's where Vanderbilt is. Now, with the Curtis guy, do they put him on the field right away next year if Pavia can't get his 13th year in college football? I mean, what do you expect Vandy does? And is the Vandy model, is it something that a Tennessee could follow, or is that a lot easier said than done? What do you think?
I don't think our head coach has a philosophy to populate his roster with fifth-year guys that to the level that, say, a Vanderbilt has done so. I think he is right now, he's firm in his belief the way to build this thing up is to do exactly what he's doing through the high schools and selectively add players at positions that are doesn't have any depth or he needs to try to upgrade. I guess it remains to be seen how successful that's going to be. But I can't argue with. I mean, you can't argue with the success Vanderbilt has had this year, it will be. They're in somewhat of a situation with like Tennessee is. Are they going to run a five-star quarterback out there going to the 9-game schedule? Or are they going to dip into the portal? It's going to be interesting to see what Vanderbilt does as it is with Tennessee.
Somebody asking over on YouTube right now, Seth is asking, how in the world did Vandy get Curtis? Look, I don't even really tremendously follow recruiting. And we were hearing that a couple weeks back that the expectation was they were going to flip him. Now, yesterday, the handling of the announcement was probably a little haphazard and slipshod from Vandy. And the way the word leaked out, and it put the kid in a bad spot because I guess he hadn't told Georgia that he was going to do it. Here's what's going on at Vanderbilt right now. And I was sharing this with a couple people yesterday. Vanderbilt has gotten hot in Nashville. And the reason they've gotten hot, and I shared this with George Plaster and Kelly Holcomb yesterday, the reason they've gotten hot is that the Titans have opened the door for them. And to some extent, the Predators down there have opened the door. Vanderbilt has, right as we come into today, the highest ranked basketball team, and they're going to fill that gym up all winter long. They have the highest Ken Pom ranked basketball team in the SEC today. Their football season, they turned the game kind of like Indiana did last year. They turned the game upside down. You can say what you want to say about the Pavia guy, but here's what the Pavia guy did. He showed those people that it can be done here, and they've gotten the entire, what I hear down there is a lot of the songwriters who have been sort of on the sidelines for years are giving their money. A lot of the country music profession producers are giving their money. One name that I hear prominently in the middle of that is Brad Paisley, but there are others. Amy Grant and Vince Gill are involved in it, and they're showing up at these games now. So the question becomes, and Sean, you brought it up, does Vanderbilt throw that Curtis there right away, and do they surround him? It's going to be very interesting. Do they surround him with enough of a veteran team that he doesn't get himself hurt? He's obviously an extremely physical kid. I mean, he's concussed some players this year. I hear he's like a maniac and just like a almost freaky for his size or for his age rather, freaky physically for his age. Do you guys think that he's capable of doing that? Is he capable of playing day one, or do they go get a guy out of the portal, which is what we're getting ready to pivot to here on the other side? Does Tennessee go chase a high-ticket item out of the transfer portal when it comes to quarterbacks? But let's start with Curtis. Cinco, what do you think? Do they throw him out there day one, or do they follow their model and get a veteran player?
If I were them, I would get a veteran player. In watching Curtis through the past couple of years, the caution I would have, he's got a very nice arm. There's no question he's a big kid. The problem is that I see is he plays in a league against competition where, as the quarterback, he is the biggest guy on the field. I mean, the only guy that I can think of that's come out of that area in that level of competition and done something was Daniel Batuli, who played linebacker here.
Yep.
There have been many, many players through the years that have come through Nashville Christian or some of the other schools like that. They were just dominant. But you watch Jared Curtis, again, he's got a big arm. There's no question about it. And you say he's running. Well, yeah, he's the best athlete by far on the team. I mean, it's like he's Jefferson from, Fast Times Ridgemont High out there. He's faster than anybody. He's bigger than the offensive and defensive linemen.
Yep.
When he's throwing passes, it is literally routes versus air for his receivers because no one can cover anybody. And so it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to the speed of the game because there's nobody that can rush him right now and sack him. He just throw him. And I mean, he's 6'4", 220. It's not like he's Andre the Giant, but literally he's playing with, If I was built, I would bring in, use Curtis, and then marketing and publicity, sell that thing out. Him in this.
He has a better chance of with Curtis than Tennessee does with McIntyre because Curtis is physically further along and ready to withstand contact impact from playing in the SEC. I'm just really concerned about McIntyre's build right now until he puts on weight.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate thing. Look, and that's what we're going to pivot to on the other side, because here's the thing. One thing we've learned, and Joey Aguilar gave us a chance this year because he was a pretty good quarterback. No quarterback, no chance. No quarterback, no chance. I mean, we know that. And look, if you're and there are Vandy fans that are like in our YouTube chat being funny. Here's the deal with you people. If you don't have Pavia this year, your record is 6-6. Okay, so let's get real about it. I mean, you can sit there and take all the bows you want. The guy is a great player. And, Sean, any doubt that if you took Pavia off their football team, what do you think that number is for their team this year?
Well, I really don't know because they beat us, but if you take a look at their record, I was wondering, did they really get jobbed by not getting into the playoffs that were announced this week? I don't think they did get jobbed. The SEC teams that are going, I think, have better resumes. So I don't really know, but he's by far the most impactful player on that team. And I agree with you because of his swagger, because of his impact there and what he's done to that program. I agree with you. I would vote him the Heisman winner, but I just don't know. They're certainly not 10-2, and they're certainly not getting the national coverage they are if it weren't for him.
No question. We'll come back. Here's where we pivot. The discussion being had in Rocky Top is one that's being had in a lot of fan bases, which is this. Bird in the hand, one in the bush. Bird in the hand, two in the bush. Bird in the hand. We've got 2 quarterbacks next year. Are either one of those guys playable against a schedule that if you look at it during the break and really contemplate this, it is maybe the most difficult schedule. I've only been here since 1987, so I'm going on my 40-year anniversary soon. I've been on the air since 94, so I'm a little over 30 years there. If you pause for a second and look at that schedule and you ask yourself, do I want to put a spindly redshirt freshman out there in George McIntyre, who, by the way, I think has a future, or a, freshman who's kind of a slightly built guy in Faison Brandon, or am I going to go and get Matt Dixon used the term serviceable yesterday. I think you got to go get a ringer. I don't think Josh Heupel has the luxury of going and getting a serviceable quarterback. I'm looking at the fan base after the Vandy loss. I'm looking at what Danny White charges for ticket prices. It seems to me if you're Tennessee and you want to not have a 7-5 season next year, I think it would behoove you to go get a proven quarterback that can play. So we'll talk about that. Watson Brown coming up, latter part of hour number 2 with his Wednesday with Watson segment. We're all going to visit with him, X and Cinco, myself, and Brian. And Brian's got a few quarterbacks he wants to ask Sexy Xy and Cinco about. And today, X puts a couple of those guys up there and their capsules and their numbers and some of the things going on around them in terms of with personnel and coaches. And this thing's interesting. This thing's really interesting. And the other thing about Brandon is, if somebody reminds me, is the kid's only 17 years old. Let me tell you something. You're not going to put a 17-year-old kid out there next year to play in SEC football. The sport is getting older and older and old. That's a good way to get somebody hurt, in my humble opinion. We take a brief time out. We come back on the other side. We do it all with you. It is your Wednesday edition. We roll it back after this.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols!
T to the B back with you, 865-200-5402. Shout out to the great Watson Brown who said, yeah, man, I'll jump in later on next hour. So we will do our Wednesday with Watson segment as part of our signing day X-tacular. X is in the house along with Sean Sinclair today. I want to focus on the transfer portal now because I think a decent part of how Tennessee, what kind of team we have against that formidable 9-game historic first SEC schedule next year. I think a lot of it is going to be determined on how Tennessee does in the transfer portal. And guys, let's talk about the quarterback position. Sean, are you in favor of getting a serviceable guy out of the portal, or are you in favor of getting a home run out of the portal from the quarterback position? Where are you leaning?
You know, Tony, the world's been turned upside down, and I've had to really think about this. And you've caused me to just reevaluate everything. I'm from the old model, where Alabama and Georgia were the way to do it, and Ohio State of late. And you bring these 4 and 5 stars in, you grow them as you say, and then they take over. That's just an antiquated model. This is a team sport now, meaning year to year. There are no more programs, maybe Ohio State. But if you take a look at what we have coming back, because we have nice receivers there, we should have the majority of our line there. And we, and Bishop, and we got a couple guys that can tote the rock a little bit. To me, that's got to be your calling card, is that offense. And if you don't bring in a one-hit wonder next year, and you don't totally totally rework that defense, not to be an alarmist, but just go ahead and take a look at what's coming back on defense and what's not. Against that schedule next year, I think you get buried. I just don't think there's anywhere to run. I mean, you got a defense that was pathetic this year. You're losing some of the best, if not most of the best players on that team, and you don't have much in the pipeline. And again, you're going to have to spend a ton of money in the portal, just to get good. I hate saying that because I know I'm just going to get ripped by everybody listening, but prove me wrong. I'd love it. I'd love to be wrong on this.
All right. Before we get to the quarterbacks then, X, do you agree with him? And how many current solutions do you guys see from the freshman and sophomore class? Because one of the things we hear is that we're one of the youngest teams in major college football. Okay, that's fine. That's good if you've got young players that can play. Now, if you're young just to be young, then you've got issues, because eventually those guys have to get on the field and play for you. X, how many of those young guys that are waiting in the wings? We saw Prelati a little bit this year. Is there anybody else in those that you think next year steps on the field ready to play and is ready to go? What do you think?
Yeah, the pool is, it's a small sample size, because the ones that they signed and are grooming to step in got very little run, with the exception of Perlow at linebacker. Farouk, I think, is maybe a sophomore now, but every expectation is that he's coming back, and I assume he's going to play unless they portal over him. But guys like Christian Gass, who I thought was one of their better signings last year. I think he redshirted this year. He dealt with injuries coming in. Jaden Harmon played a little bit. Jury's still out on him. I mean, neither one of those kids have much experience. I will say I think they're more athletic than the linebackers that play the majority of the snaps. On the defensive line, you're looking at kids like I think Marion Dye. You're looking at Isaiah. I think it's Davis, Ethan Utley. Those kind of kids.
Campbell.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's 100% right. But again, hopefully the Weathersby kid takes a step. But I was really disappointed that he didn't improve more as the season went on. And Anderson kid played a little bit. Those are the kids you would expect to come in and play. Same with the edge guy Ross. But if we got somebody that's immediately going to come in and scare an offensive coordinator on that roster, I don't see it.
And another thing you got to think about is that, let's take a look here. Again, I'm not trying to be Sean here, but there's not much evaluation that needs to be done by Josh Heupel. Vanderbilt did you a favor. They laid your whole program bare for everyone to evaluate in that game. We were not as tough as them. We are not as physical. We're not as strong. All year I've watched us in relative competition have more and more injuries than the other team we've played, regardless of who we played. There were not a lot of adjustments made, and if they were adjustments made all year, they were ineffective, except for the Georgia game. So if you have young guys that are on the roster right now, they're in the same program they have been in. What's going to change? X is exactly right. The high-level talent from last year's class blows this class away.
Which is good news.
They had a great class last year.
Yeah, which is good news, right? That's good news because
I think so.
Because what you want to hope is you hope some of those guys make the jump in the off season and become playable players. Because when you're a kid in this league, for the most part, you're not going to play. Go ahead.
No, they have to be playable. If they're not, if they are consistent with their history of portal activity, those kids have to play because they're, they not demonstrated to me that they're going to invest or sink enough effort and resources into the portal to make over that defense. And Sean, I think, hit on something that I've been concerned about for a while. I don't know what the heck's going on with their strength and conditioning program. I just felt like across the line of scrimmage this year, this team took a back seat to a lot of teams they played against. And you want to use the term soft, okay, but it just looked like the last couple of years we've been falling off in that regard a little bit. And I hate to say this because I hate Vanderbilt, but I think Vanderbilt did Tennessee a favor for handing it to us, because I think that took some of the decision making out of Josh Heupel's hands. I think he's going to be compelled to make decisions now because of how embarrassed they were in the second half.
I just from my perspective, and it's my perspective only, I believe that they better have a shopping list and they better be walking some guys into the portal. But here's the question, and it's a great question, because we don't have an infinite amount of money. Nobody does. And if you're going to play by, Adam Sparks wrote an interesting article on the new era. If you're going to play by the quote-unquote new rules, I don't think the SEC teams are playing by the new rules, by the way. I think the SEC teams are now, you've got the show me money, right? And then I've got the other money that I'm going to funnel in the back door somehow to you.
And I think everybody's playing the game. And I hope our AD looks the other way and isn't institutional with it, because I don't know that any of it's enforceable. Certainly that commission and what they're doing is not enforceable. It's just not. So you're either going to play or you're not going to play. I believe at the end of the day, Tennessee is going to play. Here's the thing about where we are, and I'm going to ask both you guys this. You look at next year's roster, you look at what's there. Okay, I gave both you guys this assignment. You're both going to hit it for me. Who on the defensively, what are we adding in the portal in a perfect world? Just positions. We don't even know who's in the portal yet. But what are we adding in your perfect world? Like for me, I'm adding 2 safeties next year. I'm starting with that. I'm 2. No offense to the guys that are there. No offense to that. That just was not. And Farouk's a young guy. Look, I'm not SEC level safety play. It has to begin in the middle of the field for me in terms of on my defense. But what are you guys adding? Sean, I go to you first. What are you adding?
I'm getting 2 safeties that can be starters. No question about it.
Okay.
I'm getting a linebacker in there that knows how to lead a team. I'm tired of hearing about guys that run 4.40s. I want a guy that can fill a hole, that can get a defense lined up. I'm even in the Vanderbilt game, I'm watching our defense looking over to the sideline trying to figure out where to line up. That's nonsense. It's a shame he got hurt, but I need a guy like Peely to come in from somewhere.
Pull by you.
That's a head cracker, that has some maturity, that can stop the run and kind of coach these other guys up. No offense to William Inge, but come on. I mean, I need that. I'm going to get 2 or 3 defensive tackles. I very much like David Hobbs, if he sticks around. Again, there's some talk that he may just call it a day and go pro, take his chances. But I love Utley. I love Isaiah Campbell. Ross, Herring's nice. I don't know about Weathersby. That strong side defensive end still concerns me. You're losing Dom Bailey. You're losing Tyree West. So I'm getting at least 3 guys that are established defensive linemen. The offense, I think, will take care of itself. I mean, a lot of the young stars are on offense. The tight ends are fine. The wide receivers are fine. The offensive linemen. I'm tired of the Ellerby can't develop. I saw guys there this year. I didn't think they were great, but he's got high school kids now that are playing. That checks that box for me. But you've got to go find, golly, 6, 7, 8 defensive starters next year.
And that's just to be pretty good. Because in your words,
I think so.
If you don't do that, you're going to get caved in defensively.
Well, I don't know. I mean, take a look at the game has changed, and you've said it. There's no way that LSU is going to get outbid for anybody now. There's no Auburn now. All the Florida, all these teams have been put on notice. I mean, you got guys like you look at Penn State. I know it looks like a poop show right now, but they fired the most accomplished coach going. And they've got to have some people going to throw out some money. In their recruiting class is just on, it's on hind tit right now. And they're going to have to go in the portal strong. So if you were a player, can you imagine what Eric Berry or someone like Deion Grant would command?
Oh my gosh.
In this market? Good Lord. Al Wilson.
Oh my gosh. But here's the thing, and Sean touched on this, and Vanderbilt proved this to us. The real value right now in these organizations are these young guys or the older guys that are responsible for watching the tape and scouting these football players all over the country. Vanderbilt brought a bunch of guys in that we said, who's that? Who is that? Who is that? And you can say, well, look at the schedule they play. Okay, look at the schedule they played. I'm not worried about that. We played a kind of an easy schedule. They won 10 games. And they smoked us with a bunch of guys that we would look at and go, who's that? Who's that? And Sean brings up another great point. The Peely guy is one of their real hits defensively out of the portal. And he was sort of a 5th-year guy that they brought in here that right away, immediately was a leader. And while we're on the subject, we were hearing great things about the Hood guy back in the summer, and they checked out. They said immediately about the Hood guy that he was a team guy. He was a leader. He took to what Tennessee was doing like a duck to water. And you know what? It proved out to be absolutely accurate. So the truth about the portal with Tennessee's defense is, this is just my thoughts. They haven't done enough of it. They've done some of it, but they haven't done enough of it. To me, X, I'm committing. Let's just keep this live and legal here. Hang on 1 second here. For our stations down the line, woof minus 10 seconds. Woof, woof.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fanrun Radio.
Here we go. All right, so, Xy, how many guys defensively, if I give you the mic and say, in the magic wand, how many guys defensively are you adding from the transfer portal to what's currently here?
I'm focusing on defense, and I'm probably emphasizing up the middle. I think they need 2 or 3 defensive linemen. We were easy pickings up the middle. It seems like running backs got to the second level really easy. They just need bigger bodies in there. I'm with Sean. I think they need a couple, maybe 1 or 2 linebackers, 4th or 5th year guys that can get the defense lined up. And again, I'm going all in on nickel and safeties. I don't know if you remember this, Tony, but after the Mississippi State game, I sent you and Bino a text, and I said, "Why in the heck do Mississippi State safeties look like SEC caliber guys and ours look like high schoolers?" There is such a difference in the profile of SEC safety most of these teams recruit to than Tennessee does, and I just do not understand it. We just need some safeties that can cover, and they come up, and that they play downhill, I guess is the right terminology. But I think I think we've got good depth and good players on the edge, but I think they collectively didn't have such a great year. That's what I would do. And one thing I need to say, I don't keep up with roster numbers, but I do know if the SEC stays at 85, Tennessee's working with 83 spots.
No, it's 105 now, guys. If you all will remember, everybody does this, and it's okay, but it's 105 now. So you can add and stack and do what you're going to do. You're allowed to do, but here's the problem. To get to that number, okay, and to get to any of these numbers and talk about what you're going to do, budgetarily, what percentage, Sean, of our money do you think is tied up into a class of 27 guys? That's the other discussion to have, and that's the other discussion I was wanting to have with you guys.
Are you talking about the class for this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you take a look at it, I mean, geez, and look, I got to think that the Spire folks are, if that's who's doing it, they're top notch. I mean, they handle their business like professionals. They're well established in the industry, et cetera. I don't think they override the decisions of the coaches. But if you take a look at this one, you have to have big money in Keys. You have to have big money in Brandon. You have to have some money in TJ White. There's some money, a couple of other guys. But other than that, if you're pouring a whole ton of money into the rest of this class, I just don't know how fiscally smart you are. I just don't. I mean, I get that they did that last year, but this class doesn't have not even the star power. It doesn't even have the mid power. You know, the 4 stars is what made last year's class really strong. We don't have that this year.
Somebody on is backing you up, X, here on Twitter. I'm going to have to stand corrected here. Somebody else is saying that the SEC stayed at 85. They think. Here's the thing. I don't.
Yeah.
That might be so. I'm asking the great Adam Sparks of the News Sentinel what the number is, because I'm not a roster guy. He said, last I heard, this is a guy that does it for the beat writing for a living. Yes. Last I heard, he said the number they're staying at is 85. That's interesting as a league. Do they continue that? Is that sustainable if other teams are allowed to sign to 105 under the, because that was part of that court ruling. And that's why this is all like, we're all getting used to this new world. But to Sean's point, I wonder internally what the discussion's like in light of what Vanderbilt just did, because this is a sheep sport, okay? It just is. Vanderbilt just showed you that high school recruiting these days, I mean, it matters, but what does it really matter? Indiana has shown you, it matters, but what does it really matter? Penn State's probably going to show you. They're going to sign 7 guys today. It matters, but what does it really matter? If I got a couple billionaires, including the Pagula guy, that are going to flex their muscles. BYU, it matters, but the cookie crumble guy is going to keep Sataki up there, and they're going to be crazy in the portal. So it's a really interesting guy.
Now, here's my concern getting back to the numbers. It's just another reason why signing so many high school kids just does not make sense, because if it is 85, like I said, Tennessee's Doc 2 scholarships because of the Pruitt mess, then you almost are, I would assume it's a 1-for-1. And what I mean by that is every kid that goes into the transfer portal, you can replace with a kid from the transfer portal.
1-for-1.
I don't know why you sign so many projects if you need so much out of to bring your roster up to a level that's going to be needed next season for this schedule they got to play.
Sean, does that tip our hand, Sean, what he's saying? Does that mean that they're not going to be as active in the portal? The fact that they're adding, 26, 27 here?
Well, think about it like this. You got, first of all, what X is saying, and you're saying with the BYUs and the Texas Techs and the Indiana, all these guys. So there's a finite amount of players out there. So you're going to have all these guys are going to be 10 at 2s, no matter who they are, because everybody needs players and nobody wants to be left behind.
Yep.
But what X is saying, I think, is why would you spend, it's not $4 million like Nico, but why would you spend 2 and 3 years worth of some money on a kid that's maybe going to develop? And then we all know, we've seen it over the past 3 years, going to transfer to UAB, going to transfer to Charlotte, going to transfer down here, et cetera. You've spent that money. When year after year, you don't have to go get the high risers. You can go load up on a bunch of average guys, depth guys, because they're only going to cost you 1 year, 2 years, and know they're at least going to see the field.
That's right.
We got a lot of people that don't even play, and the other time, another thing is what people don't talk about is special teams have just been totally factored out of the college game. You used to think, well, we'll put our 4 and 5 stars on special. Every kickoff goes out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Every punt now is an Aussie rules football player that's going to the sideline. He's kicking it 40 yards. It's getting fair caught. Nobody makes plays anymore on that. So there's that whole thought of, well, we'll just bleed the guys, groom them there. It doesn't exist anymore. Go get significant guys, not all stars, all of them. Go get guys that are men and see how it works out.
It's a robust discussion inside Tennessee's program, too, because Kirby Smart's been bragging that they hit in practice, and Tennessee does not hit. They're one of the least hitting teams in the country, and guys on the defensive side of the line, of the coaches over there, are basically leaking to media people that, hey, and it's fun to blame us. It's hard to develop guys when we're not tackling in practice. Hard to develop guys when you're not doing that. And Sean just brought up something interesting. I saw where Tennessee's punt returns this year towards the bottom of the country. They don't even attempt to. Everybody fair catches everything now. So the return games aren't even a part of that anywhere if you stop and think about it. And so how do you develop? That was the developmental spot for young players back in the day. And then when you consider that you don't hit in practice anymore, it's got to be, Sean, that's such a great point. It's got to be even more difficult to develop young football players when I'm not hitting. I don't hit like I once did. We don't even hit in training camp anymore, Sean. So how much hitting do young kids do? It's really interesting, isn't it? Across the sport.
Well, it is. It's different than basketball. Basketball, you get better in practice by playing better players.
Yes.
These days, there's not a whole lot of ones versus ones.
So Adam,
and it'd be nice to have great players on your scout team, but that doesn't exist.
Look, I don't want to be. I'm always transparent with things. I thought it was 105. I thought everybody was doing it. Apparently, the SEC staying at 85. Adam says, and because I told a caller a couple weeks ago that the scholarship reductions don't matter anyway unless they're 30. I mean, if it's 2 scholarships and those guys at the bottom of your roster, like we saw this year, they're not going to play. So it isn't like, what's the difference? But I want to get this right. Adam says that we're just exchanging texts here. The thought among SEC teams is, why give scholarships or NIL money to your 99th player on the roster? It all seems like a waste. I mean, 85. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I'm watching your scroll here, and I'd like to address a good poster here. If I pronounce this right, Janoy Presva 819. He quotes. He says, "Hate to tell you, Sinclair, majority of those players that don't play enter the portal because they aren't good enough where they're at." I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the players that leave here, yes. Why have them on your roster? Why pay NIL money to players that aren't going to be here? And then the players out there, I'm not talking about rating Bowling Green for their second team. Not at all. I'm talking about going to going to group of 5 guys.
Yes.
And going to get 4 5th-year seniors.
And walking them.
And coming here. I have no desire to fill a roster with casts off from group of 5 players.
Here's what you do. You will have already done this if you're Tennessee, if you were doing your job. And we're going to see if they did. See, saying in December I have a sense of urgency is one thing, and that's fine. Well, like what you told Chris Lowe, and hey, we're going to do all that, and I'm going to stay here because we're going to win big. The deal is, you better have been doing that since August. I'm telling you what Rick Barnes and his staff do. They identify guys before the season starts, and they begin talks with those people. Because when the time comes, I'm going to walk you into the portal. You're going to have a do not contact designation by your name. That's how it's done. And then you're going to sign with me because I've already done my job with you. If I wait until you're already in the portal, like Sean said, then I'm going to be bidding against the Texas Techs of the world, the BYUs of the world, and some of these other teams that were now the SMUs of the world, and these other people that have quote unquote oil money, and I'm not going to be able to compete with that. Okay. So if these guys, and we hope they have, but if they've done their jobs, they're going to, and I want both of your all's thoughts on this, you're going to have to watch and observe and let that huge staff you have that's been breaking the film down of all these teams, and we know these guys are all doing it. Hopefully you've already had preliminary discussions with guys on G5 teams. And Sean talked about, when BYU was in that designation and we got Peely, it's a great example of that. Until he got hurt, he was going to be a really high-level impact player. He really was. Getting the kid from Colorado. Now, that's out of a power league, and people are saying, well, a couple people on YouTube are like, well, he had a bad November. I mean, come on, man. Everybody's going to get a hit with a pass over him. That kid was a good player out of the portal. Don't move the cheese. And he's going to play in the NFL. So he's not, come on now. Come on now. Don't be a cheese mover. Point is, if these guys have been on their game, they already have people identified. They're not going to tell you who they are. They're not even going to tell the VolQuest guys who they are. And they're on the team playing. Those guys don't even, if they're doing their jobs. But you walk them into the portal. That's why I got mad last year, because I didn't see them walking guys into the portal. I saw them scrambling. There's no excuse to scramble this year. There's zero excuse to scramble this year. In other words, a guy goes into the portal and you're one of 5 names attached to him. I mean, okay, fine. You play that game, that's a fool. To me, in the modern era, that's a fool's errand, because now I'm going to be bidding against others. And like Sean said, that is going to turn some guys that are 2s at 10 into 10 at 2. You don't want to get caught in that. You want to have already identified maybe guys from the Mountain West. There's players that can play. Maybe it's a guy from 1AA who can help you, who can play, that's going to be playing in these playoff games in December, that you identify, whomever. But you can't wait. You can't wait till after the fact and go, yeah, we're going to jump on him. He's in the portal. By that point, to me, it's too late. What Tennessee does in basketball is masterful. And I know it's less players. I know that. And I know it drives people nuts. But you know what? Vitello, when he was here, is another good example of that. They would, as the year went along, make notes of guys, and reach out to them during the year. That's how you stay at the top. You don't stay at the top being a nice guy in this thing. This is and we said it on the post-game show the other night. Some people don't want to hear this. This is a kill or be killed sport now. Major college football is kill or be killed. Are you going to kill or are you going to be killed? Because if you want to stay in it and you want to play at it at the highest level, the guys at the highest level, I can promise you, the Sarkisian guy, the guy down at Georgia, even though they have a tremendous amount of players, are already going to walk people into the portal. They did it last year. They're going to do it again this year. So it's an interesting discussion to have. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I like how you say, Vanderbilt, but I really think the Indiana thing is the cautionary tale for people out there, because you look at BYU and you get the Marriott hotel family going on. You get any billionaire Texas Tech, Texas Tech's going to the playoffs. They were nothing. They were nothing when Mahomes was there.
Nothing.
They were nothing when Leach. I mean, every once in a while they had a blip with Leach, but now they're not turning back. So any billionaire that wants to affect the football landscape can do it, and do it quickly. You bet you are right. If you are not on top of your game and have a plan set out, which it seems like we're a little sleepy sometimes in those things, especially in football. If you're not ready to go, I think you get lapped pretty quickly.
It's interesting stuff. I want to hear from you. Watson Brown's going to join us as well. It's all ahead. We'll continue our conversation. It's our Xtacular. X is with us today. Usually down through in the past, we've gone over the bios of these guys and the roster, and this is how they're going to plug in, and this is what we're, look, I'm of the mindset that it's great to be, a Tennessee and signing 27 guys is great. Of that class of 27, if we're lucky, guys, how many contributors come out of that class of 27? Bona fide contributors, to use a Watson Brown word. How many of those
26.
Guys? Or 26. How many are bona fide? Because I guess the kid from Utah, the kid with the Utah ties, is probably going to go back into the pool, apparently. But go ahead, Exy. How many?
How many contribute next year?
No,
play meaningful snaps?
No, contribute at all. Contribute at all. Like in the next 4 years.
If you look at history, you're only going to get if you go back in history, look over the past 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
On a 25-man signing class, you are unless it's an Alabama or something like that.
Right.
I keep hating it because they dominated recruiting for so long.
Yeah.
If you're a regular team like Tennessee, you're going to get lucky to get 6 or 7 guys in a 25 man signing class that are going to last because of injuries, because of transfers, because of people don't develop, whatever, get homesick, whatever. And that's not even factoring in people like Jason Jenkins or Squirrel White who get calls or the Thomas kid at Miami who teams just call and say, hey man, we need help.
Yep.
I think 6 or 7.
It's kind of interesting, right? When you stop and think about it. And here's the other thing that Sean talks about. We knew a lot of those wide receivers that got picked off last year couldn't play, but those programs they went to didn't know that, and none of those guys did any of them have an impact? I think Squirrel White got ran over up in Virginia on national television early in the year when that was a big win for the Who's. Did any of those receivers have a real impact, guys, at the spots they went?
Nimrod did a little bit till they figured out he caught about every other ball. Then he didn't play very much. Webb, who went to Maryland, caught a few passes, but he was not much of a factor.
Leacock didn't do anything. Christian Harrison played well.
Yeah.
But that's about it. There's the Thomas kid at Miami. I mean, that's if we all would have had
was the star.
Crystal snow globe and could have projected it. Yeah, he's worth the money that he wanted. But I can see why they didn't pay it.
Sure.
But other than that, I don't know of a kid that's left here that has gone on to, really hurt us. I mean, there's no, the only guy that I can really think of through the years that's gone and been a great player is Henry Tuotuo. And that was a totally different
deal. Yeah. Here's the thing. And somebody said this, I think it was Watson said this, but no, it was Bobby Wilder told me this. They got beat in the playoffs the other day, but out of nowhere, they raised their deal down there at Tennessee Tech. He said, I want guys on my roster. This is the highest level they've played. He said, that's the nicest bus they've been in. It's the nicest hotel they've stayed in. It's the nicest locker room they've been in. He said, we don't recruit from D1 and bring them down and guys that have failed at that. And then they're back here and they're sour, and look at this weight room. And if you go and get those guys like we're talking about out of the G5 like Vanderbilt's done, that's the highest level they've been at. There's something to be said for, and I'm not taking Diego Pavi. People say I'm glazing him. He played that game the other day like it was the 7th game of the World Series and the second half of the Super Bowl all rolled into one. There is something to be said for grabbing a guy from one of those conferences that can play. You've identified him, and they come here, and it's the most important thing in the world. Dalton Connect, okay? Dalton, and I know he was an incredibly great athlete, but that's a really good example. The kid Lanier, okay? That's a really good example. And Nega Dave has got a decent point when it comes to these 5-star guys in basketball who are going to play their best basketball 5 years from now. And at some point, that becomes vanity, getting those guys versus identifying early a Connect, identifying early a Lanier, identifying early some of these other guys. And hey, this is the highest level I've been at, man. I am so thrilled to be here. It's a really interesting thought. We've had a lot of compelling stuff today. I just on a signing day that the sport has changed so much. We're just trying to do our best here with signing day. I hope we're living up to your expectations. I thought we would turn this into a discussion show today rather than a let's capsule and go through where this class is, because Sean's right. At the end of the day, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 maybe of your 26, 11 of your 26 are guys we're talking about in 3 years. It's just a transient sport. It's getting more transient. As we continue with more on the other side right after this. Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club teams start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports.
Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And of course, go Vols.
Basilio here with my buddy, Knoxville Kristen.
Hey, Tony. Good to see ya. Knoxville builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the .1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Knoxville.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Knoxville, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
So many discussion points, so much to talk about, so many topics, so many subjects, so much time. Look, the great Watson Brown is with us as part of our coverage here today. Watson, as usual, is presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, who want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that it is that time of the year. You're thinking about, what do I get my buddy? What do I get the family next door? What do I get somebody in a corporate sense at this time of the year, and you want to stand out? Well, their packs and what they do in terms of their gift boxes are a great way to stand out over at simpsonsmeats.com. And whether it's steaks or burgers, sausages, roasts, chickens, they purposefully set out, and it's a tradition that goes back to 1888 on Jim Simpson's farm, but they purposely raise and source their meat from farms, from pasture on purpose, and it is the real deal Holyfield. Real deal Holyfield. As we bring Watson Brown in now. And I take it, Watson, you've gotten your latest shipment from our friends at Simpson's Meats, or I'm going to crack some
No, I haven't.
What?
I'm
going to crack some skulls.
I am waiting.
I'm going to crack.
As I say to people all the time,
Yep.
I say it here around this area. I say,
Yep.
boys, if you ever eat it once, you're going to go back.
Well,
I've eaten it once.
Sam,
the whole thing of it once. I want to go back.
Sam's
I'm
told
waiting
me
on it to come in.
they've been buried. He said, Basilio, I don't know what's in your water, but you've buried us this holiday season. So shout out to our friends at Simpson's Meats. But Watson, they tell me you're in the pipeline. Here we go. Watson, several subjects that we've touched on today. When you look at, and I don't even want to talk about the Vanderbilt game because it's going to evoke terrible emotions in me, but I got our recruiting guy X in the house along with Sean Sinclair and Brian Hartman. So we're locked and loaded with you on this Wednesday. There's more than one way to skin a cat now in major college football, okay? And we do know that out of any of these signing classes, Tennessee signing allegedly 26 guys today, apparently. And we think, if you really hit on a class, you got 11 or 12 of those guys that are going to be players for you. 7 or 8 of those guys, in your words, are bona fide players. That's in a really good class. And now the sport's even more transient now than it ever has been before. How would you handle it, Watson? If you were at a spot like this and you were cutting up your budget, what do we do here? What do you think? How would you handle that?
I would handle it like we did in the old days. I would handle it like if you need a quick fix, you went to junior college. So you'd finish the year and you'd say, okay, we need, let's say it's all the way up to 5 or 6. we've got to have something immediate for next year. We cannot rely on that being a freshman. So let's run and get this, if we didn't already have it, transferred in and sitting out, because we knew it was going to be a problem. That's the way I would do it at the schools like Tennessee. They go sign the freshmen, they're going to keep them. You go to some of the lower level schools and even power fours, and they might be really good and they won't keep them. They'll lose them because somebody will pay them more money, or it's one of these top dog Southern Cals of the world or Texas of the world puts it out there. They want you and you're gone. But that's not going to happen when you're at Tennessee or Texas or Georgia. It's not that they'll keep them. The only way they lose them to me usually is they're not playing. And if they're not playing, there must be a reason for that. You've got somebody better, or maybe two people playing in front of him or whatever. I would do it that way. I would on that level sign freshmen, but I wouldn't take a freshman that I didn't think was really good. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't take what to a coach a 3-star, not what they're rated, because I'm not big on all that.
To a coach,
if coach thinks he's a 3-star, and in today's world, I would not take that kid. I would just take the 4-star type kids that I think is a really, really good football player in high school.
I was looking,
and then I'd run to the portal to get the rest of what I needed.
Apparently, the SEC, we were looking at this earlier. I thought they'd already ratified at all these schools as part of the House agreement. Part of the House agreement was that you can go to 105 signing.
Mm-hmm.
That's way too many football players, okay? Unless you're going to have JVs and
I agree with that.
Bring that back. 105. There's no way you're going to be able to keep 105 kids happy. And what are you going to do?
You can't play 105.
Yeah, what are you going to do with the other, 85?
You can't play that many.
85 is a high enough number. Here's the thing. They're going to vote on it, and some coaches want it, and some coaches don't. If you had to vote, you'd vote against it, yes?
I would. I'd put it at 90. I'd put it at 90. I'd be a little bit in between with that.
Yeah.
I'd give it 5 more, and I'd cut it right there. I think 90 people will end up playing in a 2-year period. You get all the way to 105 now. That's a lot of bodies you got to get ready to play.
And so from that perspective, and you said it, if you cut 3-star players out, in your eyes, right? You cut 3-star guys out.
That's in my eyes.
In your like in other words, Josh Heupel looks at a kid and he says, "This kid's a developmental piece. Let's take a chance on him." Really, what he's doing there is he's tying up a roster spot, and he's also, which could be used, but he's also going to tie up some money because nothing's free today. None of these guys are signing for free, are they, Watson?
Not many, but a 3-star that's being recruited as a 3-star is not going to get near the money these other guys are getting. Not anywhere close. He might get $10,000. He might get $3,000 a month or something. It goes way down when you get to those guys. And there are guys signed that aren't being recruited very heavy that are coming in with just scholarship. And the way I understand it, Tony, that you sign 2 pieces. You sign a scholarship, and then you sign whatever you want to call it, it's not cost of living, but it's how much you're going to make. You're signing a contract on how much you make. Most of these kids are signing 1-year contracts. These top quarterbacks, these top offensive tackles, sometimes are signing multi-year contracts.
Yeah, the Thamel guy is reporting that he expects it to be voted in for what that's worth. So
that doesn't surprise me. I think if the coach was sitting there, he'd want as many as he could get on his team to cover up him missing players. That's what coaches do. They're covering up a miss. So you got more shots to cover up your misses that you have.
Here's the other thing.
And you do miss some in recruiting that just don't come through.
Here's the other discussion, Watson, we were having, and then I want to talk to you about just some other things, your observations on the game and where Tennessee needs to pivot and lessons you would learn from this season so far, because we got this quarterback issue out there. There's a lot of stuff to cover. But one of the things that we're hearing from the Tennessee camp is, hey, look, it's good that you guys in the media like to blame us defensive guys. And I think that's great. And I think that's really wonderful. And that sounds good. And you get people all stirred up on your show and this, that, and the other. But it is that Charger. But here's the Laura just brought me a Watson's laughing. Here's the deal. We don't hit anymore. We don't tackle anymore. How am I going to grow my young defensive players when there's only a few coaches in the sport? Kirby Smart's one of them. He was bragging in the media the other day, hey, we still hit. That's why we get tougher as the season goes along. That's why we grow our players. He was kind of, doing the Kirby thing. Why don't these guys hit like they once did? Watson, where does that come from? Or even hit at all during the season?
100% injury. At Georgia, you could hit a lot more. You're deeper. That guy behind that guy is still a really good player you're playing with. If one of those starters gets dinged and wouldn't play that week, when you're not real deep, you get real concerned because the guy behind that starter is not very good, and it's a major fall off. It was maybe the toughest decision as a head coach for 32 years at 6 different schools. It never changed whichever school I was at. That was the toughest decision I would have to make. How much do we hit in the off season? How much do we hit in the spring? How much do we hit in the preseason? How much do we hit in early season? How much do we hit in late season? And it's the toughest decision I think you make as a head coach. And are your kids wore out? Do we just not need to hit this week? Are we just so beat up that we can't take that chance this week? Then all of a sudden it's the same thing the next week. Well, we're beat up again. And before you know it, you back off. And I look back on it and it was a mistake. You've got to find a way to have contact drills. And the way I would do it if I did it again, I would not do a lot of teamwork at all live, but I would have middle drills, outside drills, one-on-one drills. I would keep blocking and tackling some way live, pad on pad, enough during the week. Maybe not do it, but once a week. Maybe a little bit on Wednesday and a lot on Tuesday. I always thought that goal line situations and short yardage, you can't practice that if you don't do it live. But you don't hurt many in those things. When it's so confined in there, unless somebody were to just fall on somebody, you don't hurt them in that. It's more the pursuit, falling, tackling, but rolling over guys, that kind of stuff, Tony, that you get hurt. And you go back and look at injuries now also that I look back on, I think, well, yeah, I remember having a championship team and had near everybody back. And the next year, I think we won 4 games, and it was sickening. Well, we had 26 surgeries and 42 players miss games. So I got to defend the coach a little bit sometimes in that. But I'd go back and find a way to have some contact drills, even on the days I'm injured. Just put the ones in there that are not hurt, even if it's some of you down the liners. But I would do some of that. And I was one that backed off and probably backed off more than I should have because I was never deep. I never had teams that were real deep.
Hey, Sean, share with Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, incomparable. Online at simpsonsmeats.com. Gift boxes anywhere in the world. Cinco, share with Watson Brown the observation you had about special teams in the modern sport in terms of player development, because I want to get his thoughts on it. Go ahead. Is Cinco there? Did we lose Cinco? Yeah, exactly. Watson. I'm traffic hopping in here. Okay, so Sean's point earlier in the program was it used to be in special team you would develop your young guys on special teams. He said the return now in college football is basically a rumor. Everybody fair catches everything. Kickoff returns are no more. So basically, you've got young guys just running up and down the field. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, what they're learning on special teams to me is not the fundamentals they need to be getting and blocking and tackling and within an offense and within a defense. There's a lot of different stuff in special teams. It's still blocking and tackling, but there are some differences. So I do think if Sean's hinting that people aren't hitting enough with their special teams, I do think they're if I did it again, I would have individual drills in special teams live. Some, but not full team drills in special teams. I just think that's too dangerous because, and I'll defend it in this way. You got to understand every school's different. Schools I was at, a lot of my good players were on special teams because I had such a fall off. Whereas at some places they're so deep, a good player never sees a special team. So it's so different at every school, and it's so different every year. Tony, I just think I have to talk in general terms with it instead of the specifics because each week is so different with who's injured, who's out, all those type of things. But you're not going to develop a young player through the season if he's not in some contact drills during the week.
It's a really interesting thing because it's something they've all pivoted. Well, not all, but a lot of these guys have pivoted to. Taking even the contact out of preseason for the most part.
It's so easy, Tony. It's so easy not to do it. It's so easy to sit there and say, we can't take a chance this week, guys.
Yeah.
I can remember in many, many, many staff meetings where I could go around the table and it'd be half say let's hit and half say not. I mean, it is the hardest decision I think a head coach makes as far as football is concerned. Football decisions, not individual decisions with players or something, but football decisions, the hardest decision to make year-round in practice is how much do we hit. I wore them out at the end in spring. And then I would wear them out in early preseason, like the first 2 weeks. And then I'd start backing off. And I look back, and we hit some early. I wouldn't hit as much late, and I think that was a mistake.
Another point of discussion we had here is, and now it's not cutting time, right? Tennessee signs a 17-year-old top of the class kid, but he's 17, and he's got to grow and grow into his body and all that. And then George McIntyre is still a pretty slight young man, and he's not experienced. And you're going to have the hardest 9-game schedule. You've got one of the hardest home schedules I've ever seen in my life. Coming off a year where you lost 3 games, and now the fans are all over you. Watson, what are you doing if you're this group in the transfer portal? We going to go get a quarterback? We going to go get a ringer?
That's hard for me to say because I don't know how good what's going on within the team and how good is what's there.
Yeah.
And only they know that. If he's good enough, no. Don't waste money on that. Now, you may have to go get a backup if the other kid, one of them leaves. Or maybe you signed one. I haven't seen their signing class. I don't know what they've done as far as a freshman.
They've got a number 2 guy in the country.
And you've got to have a number 2 in today's world. That's another mistake I think I made. You can't. You got a great one. You say, man, we're all right. We've got a backup. We're going to protect him a little bit. We'll protect our starter more. He's a great player. We're probably not going to get blah, blah, blah. Well, before you know it, you end up playing with that guy, and you've wasted a year because the backup wasn't near good enough to win for you. You better have a backup that can play. The way quarterbacks are used in today's world, Pavia carried the ball 20 times the other day. 20 times in that football game. You do that 12 times a year in the SEC, you'll be lucky to make it through. And a lot of these offense now use their quarterback legs a bunch. A lot of them do. And so I think it's very important not only to have a starter, but to have a very solid backup.
Give me a couple lessons from Tennessee's perspective they should learn from that Vanderbilt game, if anything. What do you think they take from that?
Everything that we went over the week of that game is what Vanderbilt did. I thought the offense did not handle the walked-up pressures and then come out late and all that very well. Did not think to handle it the whole game. It started on the first drive of the game. First play of the game, the Tennessee had the ball. Vanderbilt had all 11 of them within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And what they're trying to do is they're messing with their checks from the sidelines. And so they're going to stay there as long as they can. And I thought Tennessee let them get away with that. You want to put 11 people at the line, you better be able to defend deep. you better be able to get back there and get back and help. That's telling me if you snap that ball quick and you send two deep or whatever, or quick post or whatever route you want to run, that's hard to get back to that when you're up there faking that long and right before the ball snap, you run out of there. I thought that Vanderbilt messed Tennessee's rhythm up, and Tennessee ended up going slower because of it, trying to figure out, are they coming or are they not? Instead of just get up there, snap the ball, and it could even have been built into an RPO. And Vanderbilt had done this through the years some, so it wasn't like they hadn't seen it. But you build it in, you've got a running play called, and you got a skinny post or something with it. Snap the ball, let the quarterback see what they do. Do they stay there, throw it if they run out of there? But I would have thrown it up no matter what. I don't think their safeties could possibly get back and defend from where they were getting and on the snap of the ball. So I thought Vanderbilt messed with them, and that's what messed with the first drive of the second half. It was 3 and out both times. First two drives of the game, first drive of the game, first drive of the second half, 3 and out. And I thought that was the difference in the game, along with on offense, along with the roughing the passer that personally I'm not sure was, but it was close enough it could have been called. The kid should have just held off. That was field goal, and they go in leading at the half.
Yep.
And so that was a huge play in the game. Defensively, I don't usually do this, Tony, but I thought they just did not have a plan for Pavia. How is Vanderbilt going to beat you? Pavia. You've got to stop number 2. In the running game, all 11 eyes have got to be on him. And I just didn't think they were. I did not think they had a Pavia plan at all. And in the passing game, you cannot rush by him, and you cannot let him break contain. And they didn't ever have a secondary guy to come and get him when he started scrambling. I'll bet you 2/3 of the passes in the game he scrambled on and found somebody to throw to. And the other observation I had was that Tennessee is not very athletic on defense. They've really got to go get some help there. I just think their athleticism in the middle of the field, from the interior people through the linebackers through the safeties, watching them in that game, I think a running, passing quarterback, a good one, with good players around him, will expose a defense more than anything else. And I thought Pavia's stuff, and with some good players around him, exposed Tennessee, and I just don't think they're athletic enough this year on defense, so they probably need to go to the portal and get some help, unless they really think they got some good young players coming.
Watson Brown dropping truth bombs left and right. Truth bombs, truth bombs, truth bombs. He continues, we continue. A overtime segment coming up, unsponsored overtime, a labor of love on the other side after this.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved, and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving